7:15 a.m. this Friday morning. September 19th, 2025. Got the moon right here, and of course my camera is quite pathetic as far as distance, but there is something next to the moon, and I have no idea what it is. Not sure if it's even picking up. Let's see if we can get this into focus a little better. Dim down this lighting. You might be able to see it. Very strange. Something shiny right next to the moon. Almost looks like, I don't know. I seen that the sun was coming up, and I figured, okay, let's go ahead and check out the sunrise, which we were about to do. I was on my way over here, and I happened to look up and seen the sliver of the moon, or Miss Luna, and seeing that next to it, and I was like, what in the heck is that? Man, I tell you what, these sky observations are getting very radically strange anymore, man. I'm loving it. And furthermore, you know, I don't know why, but I've just started to subscribe to certain channels, and well, I have just subscribed to a channel, a UFO channel, and I'm going to leave it's TK UFO, I believe that is the name. And you know, it really appears as though this is a channel that might be having their content heavily shadow banned. Why do I bring that up? Well, this is the case. Man, I've been getting quite a few views here lately on my content. Quite the uptick, if you will. But is it this kind of content here? No. No, it's cat content. But I came down here to try to get a decent observation of the sunrise, but we can see that it is quite heavily covered back here. I'm backing up right now because I want to see if I can get another sighting of the moon, which might be quite doubtful right now. But hey, I relocated my brain again. Yeah, well, it's a big puffball. Alright, so anyways, you know, even though might not be able to get a decent sunrise this morning, at least I was able to get a little bit of the moon, which, well, looks like it's been covered over. I'm not seeing it now. Let's go ahead and dim this lighting down a little bit. Alright, well, I guess we're quite lucky to have actually gotten what we got. Especially with this pathetic camera within this pathetic phone. And I am very surprised that I woke up this morning and to actually have had two videos that I left doing the uploading thing while I slept last night, and they actually were posted by this morning. Wow, very strange, because typically, you know, that's not the case. Oh yeah, And if you want a really good chuckle, I had a comment this morning from Happy Joy Joy from down there in Australia, commenting on the factor the uh, of me subscribing to Ellen's channel. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, well, you got to go back in time to yesterday's content and check it out. But anyways, if you go over to the community postings, I took a screenshot of David's comment and what AI had provided as a reply. How laughable is this lack of artificial intelligence today? Man, I tell you what, technology is just... Yeah, quite a lot of cloud coverage back there, and so, you know, whether we can get anything once the sun rises, I don't know, but we are to be now headed into cooler temperatures. They're talking precipitation in the forecast, but I really don't pay much attention anymore because of the fact that there is no longer any such thing as natural weather or Mother Nature, as it is all created weather today, artificially created. And I can say that with great conviction because of my content and the proofs and evidences that I have shared and shown for quite a few years now. I mean, and now when it comes down to where I am going back in time to some of my earliest content and saying, hey, check this out and compare it to what's, you know, what I've got here today, to where I'm using my own content to back up recent content instead of going to outside sources. Wow. Now, doesn't this look like a huge X that is coming into view back here? Yeah. And of course, what we are looking at are past streamers, trails. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this for a moment and stand here a little bit longer. I can see that the sun is slowly rising up, ascending, if you will. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pause this, like I said, for a moment, and I know that this is going to be changing quite radically on a minute-to-minute basis, but I wanna see if I can relocate the moon real quick, but I'm not going to do that while recording. So we'll be back. Well, no sooner than I pause my camera that I turn it back on because, well, we have one of these flying overhead, right? The common sky bandit. And I'm not, once again, already having issues with the focusing. But yeah. So we can pretty much determine that this is going to be the case throughout the day. I guess we're going to go ahead and ignore the moon then and go back to this. If anything, we got us quite a little bit of coloration. Oh, and here we go. Here's another one back here. Well, activity is ramping up. Might be difficult to see. But in the meantime, you know, the sky actually has a sort of somewhat dirty appearance once again. Okay, and to the north, we can see some cloud coverage. back in here. But swinging back over to the east, let's look at this mess that is starting to reveal itself. And we'll go ahead and dim down the lighting for just a little better viewing. Look at that nice sun tower that is coming up back here. Man, I really should bring my camping stool when I come over here so I can just plop a squat and record all this. But my style of recording takes us all over the place. And so, yeah, having that leisure sitting really doesn't cut it. But yeah, a nice little tower back here. We are getting more of the blueness to the sky, if you will. Yes, we do have fog rolling across the field once again, and even actually right close, because it's, yeah. But yeah, that's and actually, my previous recordings from this location, the fog is typically further out across this field and not quite as close as what it is this morning. And there's actually a couple of rows, if you could actually see it back here, there is like 2 rows of fog, okay? Kind of strange. We got fog back there by the trees, and then fog, you know, a strip of fog right up here nearby. Very crazy. Okay. So go ahead and look at this a little bit more. I'll dim this down. We'll kind of sidestep just a little bit here so we can see the light tower here. Man, a lot of cloud coverage moving in, spraying the eastern sky. And of course, what is my deduction? Yep, trying to hide that object next to the sun, or possibly objects, as I am now seeing evidences of a possibility of yet another object besides this one that I have been recording for quite some time now, which actually goes back at least a couple of years. Just not in the same format as how we are seeing it today. And yeah, I did bring my polarized sunglasses just in case. Now we can see that this X has actually slid over just a little bit. Wow, quite the light tower here, right? Well, we got us big birds flying back here. They'll probably come into viewing here shortly. Sounds like sandhill cranes. Well, and I believe that, yeah, that's what I recorded in yesterday's recording too, was 2 sandhill cranes that were very high aloft in the sky. There they go back in here. Yeah, alright, let's go on back over here and look at this mess that's really starting to develop. Okay, and I believe we are starting to see the actual light source down at the bottom. Yeah. It's coming up kind of cool looking. It's not coming out white with that red ring around it like We have been capturing it, but this is due to the material between us and that ball of light. Now it's starting to turn white. Let's go ahead and dim this down just a little bit. Deepen the colors. Yeah, see, visually, it is all red. And not showing, you know, this whitish coloration. That is one flaw to the camera's eye, is when it comes down to red. And sometimes, well, like these aircraft that I capture, they always turn out white whether high or low. But of course, many of them, that is their actual coloration, is a white exterior. Of course, that is camouflage to help blend in with the milky skies. Yeah, I know, I'm going to try to refrain from this being a very long recording. So I think I am going to actually once again pause this momentarily, and we'll go ahead and resume here shortly. Mind you, once again, we are seeing all this yuck back here, but as I spin around, we take in a 360 viewing. Once again, all we have is some of this back here, and then all of this mess right here. So does that tell you anything? And I will say that this is actually the first time, according to my memory, and if my memory serves right, that I've actually ever caught one of these light towers. And a leaf falling down in front of us. Yeah, definite signs of fall, and that's something else. And one meteorologist says that, oh, we're not even out of summer yet. Other meteorologists will say, yeah, we're in the autumn months now, and I mean, it's just, you know, it's getting as pathetic. When they are confusing their viewers, mainstream media and the meteorologists, they're actually trying to confuse the viewers over the turning of the season and when that actually properly happens, or supposed to. And this falls right in line with another loose example. It's early in the morning. I lost my training of thought. It'll come to me. Oh, hey, way back here. Can we get this? There is actually a streamer in this white yuck. Actually, a couple of them back here. If we can see them, I don't know. But yeah, there's two nice thick streamers back here. And of course, a lot of fog. Well, I don't know. It just looks foggy in this direction. I'm sorry. Yeah. My brain had a momentary lapse of reasoning, and I cannot remember the examples that I wanted to give. But well, I guess it wasn't all that important. Heck with it. All right. So yeah, look at this now. Get back over here because everything is kind of side shifting. And yeah, already experiencing more issues with the focusing. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, the simple like calendar dates to where you have George Washington's birthday, and then the day of observance for George Washington's birthday. Okay, and that's a fun one there too, because when you actually go into history and do your research over our calendar here in the United States, which, you know, many other countries use the same calendar. Well, it was due to the observance of George Washington's birthday that they actually kind of messed uh, with history, because they included a day. Seriously, they actually, I mean, what they did just so they could include an observance day for George Washington's birthday is something that you really should investigate. Personally, I don't think there should be any federal holidays or personally, I don't think there should be any holidays. None whatsoever. I mean, who cares anymore when, you know, there's every day today is labeled, you know, National Hot Dog Day. You know, how corn doggish of, you know, to have a day celebrating hot dogs. Please. You know? Forgive me, people. I kind of went off into a little bit of a rant, but you know, all right, we'll pause this again. Yeah, you know, it is highly, highly doubtful that we are going to get anything to appear this morning. You know, it is a possibility, but there's just so much coverage back here that, once again, highly doubtful. But this object just, I mean, it does have its way of becoming visible in some of the strangest means. I mean, when the leaves of the trees actually brings this object out, that's crazy to me. Well, yeah, we got the lens up here, polarized lens. Going back to the regular lighting, bring this lens up. Okay, now with the lens there, we'll drop the sliding. Once again, this is my little way of trying to bring out the details of this object. Okay, drop those back down. Definitely getting brighter. Let's drop this lighting down again. Not going all the way with it. Let's go ahead and pan back again. Kind of look at this. Yeah, we've gotten quite high in the sky now. I'm recording for quite some time. Okay, zoomed in all the way. Let's drop this lighting down. There's the lens. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and let this get up just a little bit higher, and then I'll more than likely end this if I'm not capturing anything. Well, if you happen to watch yesterday's recording, and once again my content got flip-flopped out of the order of which it was to be presented, my last two videos from yesterday. A link in the description would have taken you to one of my earliest of videos on this channel, to where I had focused in on this sun, and this was back in 2017. And it was showing these rose petals, okay? Well, as I just looked away from this light here and looked to my side, all I can see is multiple spots in front of my eyes. And not like that in the past where you would look at the sun and see one big spot like what would happen after a photo was taken with a flash bulb, and you have that blinding spot. Well, that's not the case anymore. You look at this thing and look away, you will see many, many, many spots. At least that is the case for me this morning. And yeah, I've got this fog that is creeping in towards me that much more. We'll go ahead and go back here. Regular lighting. Let's try to focus. Let's go ahead and throw this lens up here real quick. Wow. Looks like a pear. I'm talking about the fruit, not a pear of something. Okay, now I'm starting to see. Oh yeah. Can you see that cutout? The left-hand corner. Okay, and then we got a flattening to the right side. But yeah, if you look at the upper left, yeah. Drop that lighting down all the way. Well, I guess we need to get back in focus before we can drop it down. And you might think, oh, well, that's just because of the clouds back there. And no, 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 no. Oh, no, heaven forbid. There's a lot more going on than than what you might think. But yeah, and thing is the more that this rises, it seems as though the more that the so-called cloud coverage is going right along with it. There's the fog is actually rising from the field, and so that is now becoming an influencing factor. See how it, yeah, it's getting thick back in here. So of course that is going to hamper the viewing, as well as all this additional material back there. But hey, you know what? It's still a pretty sunrise, if you will. Yeah. But of course, you know, we get these clouds to remain back here and not travel or continue traveling this way. We just might get a later viewing of that object. Because seriously, I'm just not thinking it's a happening thing this morning. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end it because this is dragged on long enough. And I've shown the object in many recordings now, so I was just wanting to add to it. But hey, I'm kind of antsy to get back and review this just because I want to see if whatever it was next to the moon actually was picked up in my recording. And I know this is going to come on though. Now I've kind of gotten, I don't want to say hooked on these sunrise recordings, but this might be the last opportunity that I get for some time, because yeah, there's supposed to be changes in our weather. Yeah, of course. But you know, when it comes down to my sky observations, most generally there is something a little off that can always be seen. So who knows, that might be the case with this recording this morning. Maybe you'll see something that you can point out. I don't know. Just kind of guesstimating at this given point. It just looks weird this morning. All right, well, yeah, there's just too much yuck back there, as far as I'm concerned, to really get any kind of decent viewing. Yeah, that's the arm of my glasses in the shot right there. Still looks kind of strange though, in that upper left position. Given time, it's probably clear and I'll be able to get. Oh, okay. Are we starting to actually see a little? I don't know. Pull this away. Refocus. Doing the experimentation with lighting and the glasses. Yeah, okay. We might be getting a little bit of it. I don't know. Alright, enough frogging around. I'm going to go ahead and head on back. It's time for me to have my breakfast as well as the granimals out back. So, yeah, of course, where's this one headed? Right towards the light. Alright? So was that the third one this morning so far? And then we look over in this direction. We're starting to see a little bit more puffs of stuff. So, yeah. More likely this is a day of increasing cloudiness, but again, I have not watched any weather reports for today or the upcoming days. Well, I swear I can actually see it back here, somewhat. But again, we've seen it all before, so let's go ahead and end this recording so I can get my day going. And well, if anything, take care. Have yourselves a great one. We'll see you once again back here at some given point on this flip side. Hi guys, morning. Yeah, might as well go ahead and do a little nature recording, huh? Oh. Yeah, a couple of squirrels heard me talking out here, and they're a little curious. That's cool. That's really cool. Okay, so one last time, man. Yeah. Are we seeing it? Yeah, I think so. Getting a little bit of it showing up through all the yuck back here, and not so good like that. We'll go back to regular lighting, dim it down. Yeah, I'm thinking it's kind of somewhat making its appearance there. Yeah. Are we seeing it? See how the flattening and oh yeah. There we go. Just a reflection of light? No. Not when you see this thing all day long. But of course, it's got to be pulled into viewing. But yep. So, and of course, we could, the longer I stand here, the more likely I could get a better viewing of it. But hey, as far as I'm concerned, that's good enough right there. We've accomplished what we came for. And now it's time to end this. Not a real great viewing, but it is there. If I can see it in my screen under these conditions, then yep, you should be able to as well. Okay, so I've got the lighting dropped all the way, and that's going to really darken it through these lenses. Let's go ahead, brighten it back up through the lenses. Take the lens away. Dim this down. Exterior lighting. Yeah. Alright, they're good enough, I do believe. And of course we got that finally made its appearance nearby the light. Okay, that's where we'll end this recording. Alright, once again, take care and have yourselves a great one. We'll see you back here on this flip side.